Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, folks, the Vols have grabbed a Bama coach, and this is the third Alabama coach to head out. And we got to ask the question, is DeBoer already failing?
How dare you?
I know, Alabama fans, that upsets you. I understand that. But we got to talk about it. First, let's talk about these two hires by the Vols, and then we'll get all into the DeBoer situation, which I'm going to tell you something. It's getting a little tough down there. They're not used to this. And one of the coaches the Vols hired was a guy that was at Alabama. They hired Darrell Sims as a running backs coach and William Ngay as a new linebackers coach. And Darrell was at the Cincinnati Bearcats. He was a running backs coach there and makes, I would call it almost a lateral move, maybe a little bit of an uptick for him moving to the SEC, obviously. But Cincinnati was a very good team. And then William Ngay, who was at Washington as he was a co-defensive coordinator there. And I think what happened, maybe he felt like he deserves to be looked at as a defensive coordinator at Alabama, and maybe he got overlooked a little bit and said, the heck with you, I'll just go somewhere else. And since he was a linebackers coach as well, Tennessee needed one, made sense. The guy's got a lot of history and been coaching for a long time. And actually, Darrell Sims, he had coached at Carson Newman, and I was listening to Eric Kane, who actually knows this guy, and said he's a very good coach, excellent coach. So that made me feel good right off the bat. And, of course, he was replacing Jerry Mack, who went to the NFL. I believe he went to the Jaguars, and we're seeing a lot of that. Look, we just might as well get used to the new normal, which is college coaches doing anything they can to get to the NFL. They can't stand the transfer portal, all this NIL situation. Kids can do whatever they basically want, and you've got to re-recruit constantly, and recruiting's a hard job. You've got to not only coach kids, you've got to recruit them over and over and over, the same kids. And if they get upset with you, they'll just leave. If you're a coach, you don't want to deal with that. You'd rather be in the NFL where you've got guys who you know who you have for the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years. So I think this coaching carousel is going to be like this for a while, with every good coach in college heading to the NFL, or trying to anyway. And we also lost a Brian Jean-Maurice, who left for Michigan. And then Ngay had, of course, been at Washington, and he was obviously following DeBoer to Alabama, and maybe something happened there. I'm not sure. All right, but now let's get into Alabama. And before we get started, look, I'm just going to go ahead and give the Alabama fans a little bit of a break here. If you're somebody that gets upset very easily, you're somebody that you walk around with your participation trophy, maybe you wear your Gen Z toboggan in the summer, this part of the video is not for you. It's going to upset you. So the best thing for you to do is this.
Just walk away.
That's right. Listen to Humongous. He knows best. Just walk away. It's okay. It's all right. Look, find a safe space. You'll be fine. But now we're going to talk about Alabama. They've lost a lot. The biggest loss is Caleb Downs, probably the best safety in the country. He was a freshman last year, getting ready to be a sophomore, and he had like 100 million tackles last year. I think it was like 103. Interceptions, I mean, he was just a wrecking crew back there. He could change a defense by himself. They lost a 5-star left tackle in Proctor, who went to Iowa. They lost their best wide receiver, who went to Texas for some reason. I don't know why. Something about a Lambo. They love Lambos. These players these days love Lambos. Wonder if that's pay for play. But NCAA says you can't have pay for play, but everybody's doing pay for play. Well, let's just go after Tennessee. Don't worry, folks. We'll finish the NCAA. They're going to be in dust when we're done with them. And if I haven't told you this, we have made an offer to the NCAA that we will drop our lawsuit against them, state of Tennessee, state of Virginia, if they will simply just do this.
Before we let you leave, your commander must cross that field, present himself before this army, put his head between his legs, and kiss his own arse.
And I think that's a very fair offer to the NCAA. I think it would be wise for them to accept that offer and just move on, because they're going to lose this, and they're going to lose it badly. But besides those key players, they also lost the number 1 quarterback in the 2024 recruiting class. That was Julian Sayin, who really kind of saw the handwriting on the wall when Kalen DeBoer brought in his own quarterback, which was Austin Mack, who is also a fine quarterback himself, a very good 4-star. But he fits his system a little bit better. But Kalen has had a very rough go of it down there in Alabama. First, he lost Ryan Grubb, who was his offensive coordinator, his right-hand man. And I'm going to tell you something. When you lose a guy that you really count on, especially at game time, that's a tough loss. He also lost his offensive line coach, who was a great offensive line coach, Scott Huff, who won the Joe Moore Award, which is best line in the country. And now he's lost William Ngay. That's very difficult. Now, two of those guys, obviously Grubb and Huff, went to the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks to be exact, which, again, that's not his fault.
Sure, Jan.
But let me tell you something about Alabama fans. They're not interested in excuses. Let me tell you what they want. They want championships, period. And that is their standard. It's called the Bama standard, and it's this high. And you either reach this or you fail. There is no in between at Alabama.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know what I'm talking about? That
so, yeah, you can sit there and say, well, that's a shame he lost his offensive coordinator and his offensive line coach and all those great players that would have been impact players for Alabama. Alabama fans are going to say, we don't care. Nick Saban never made excuses. He was always at the top, won 6 national titles there. Where's yours, Kalen? They're going to be sitting there like, where's our national championship? Yeah, Bama fans, they want to win.
I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, baby.
Don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide.
I think Kalen's in for a rude awakening down there, especially playing in the SEC. You know, playing at Washington, he was playing a much different class of competition than he's going to be playing these days. This season's probably going to be eye-opening for him, and not having very key coaches and losing critical players is a big deal. Now, will Alabama be a bad team? Absolutely not. Could they easily win 10 games? Yes. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if they made the playoff. I just don't think they're going to be to the level they're used to on a regular basis, because you're not going to go out there and get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 5-stars like Nick Saban did every year. That's not going to happen. The Saban discount of not having to spend a ton on NIL and still getting these guys, I'm sorry, it won't be like that. You better start ponying up the dough and get your NIL squared away, because nobody's going to care. Oh, Kalen DeBoer, okay. How many championships have you won? You don't have 6, 1 for the extra finger? When Nick Saban walked into a living room, people knew. So it's getting a little rough down there. So we'll keep an eye on it. Like I said, for the Alabama fans that made it through this, look, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. You've got to be a little bit concerned. You've got the coaching carousel that's really hit you hard. You've lost a bunch of impact guys. You're still loaded with talent, but not as much as you had. And you've got a pretty tough schedule. Got a couple of easy wins starting out, Western Kentucky, USF. You'll handle them no problem. Then you got to go to Wisconsin. That'll be interesting. Off week, and then kaboom, you got the Georgia Bulldogs, #1 team in the country. It's at Bryant-Denny Stadium. That's going to be a tough game. It's at 7:30. They've already got it marked, 7:30. Woo! Then you're at Vanderbilt. That's an easy win. South Carolina, you win that. Then you got to come to K-Town, big boys. Got to come to K-Town, and we're going to be waiting on you, let me assure you. Then you got Missouri. That's a tough game. Then you're off. Then you're at LSU down there at the Death Valley. Then the Mercer Bears. I'm worried about the Mercer Bears. I hope you can get past them. Then at Oklahoma, another tough game. And then Auburn, you know better than to look past them.
You walk over, but you're limping back.
So not the easiest schedule in the world. You've got some real pitfalls there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 games you could lose there. So let's say you win half of them. You're 9-3. You're not going to make the playoff at 9-3, I don't believe. You're going to probably have to be 10-2. So that would be a failed season. If you go 10-2, make it to playoffs, I think, y'all will be okay with that, even if you don't go very far. Or who knows, maybe you'll win another natty. You just never know. But I'm not nearly as intimidated by Alabama as we have been in the past, and we've had some success recently with them. We beat them 2 years ago, and we were 13 points up on them last year till we kind of blew it in the second half. So we'll see what happens this year, but I'm really looking forward to that ball game. And Kalen DeBoer is a very good coach. I think he's solid. He's not Nick Saban, though. He's just not. And following a legend, it's going to be tough, because even if you're really good, and let's say you average 9, 10 wins a year, that's going to be a real letdown from what you're used to. And if you've not subscribed and you'd like to see more content like this, it'll make it a lot easier for you if you hit this little button right here. It's a subscribe button, doesn't cost you a dime. And right over here is the most recent video YouTube thinks you'll enjoy based on your viewing history. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.